Welcome to Jimmy Media, your source for weekly news and some of the most important stories shaping Africa and the diaspora. Let's get into it. Firstly, Burkina Faso has officially cut ties with France. In a statement, the government accused France of what it called blatant neocolonial ambitions, and even claimed France was supporting subversive networks and terrorist groups. These are serious accusations, and they just show how far relations between the two countries have deteriorated. Now, it's important to understand what this actually means. Cutting diplomatic ties doesn't mean immediate conflict or danger for civilians. In fact, Burkina Faso has made it clear that French nationals in the country are protected under their laws. France, on its side, has responded by saying it's considering reciprocal measures. This move is part of a broader trend we've seen across West Africa, where countries are increasingly distancing themselves from former colonial powers and trying to redefine their relationships on their own terms. Next, let's go to Senegal, where major political reforms are causing controversy. Senegal's National Assembly has passed a sweeping bill that shifts the balance of power in the country. In simplest terms, this reform reduces the power of the president while strengthening the authority of Parliament and the Prime Minister. The changes are significant. Parliament will now have more oversight over the government, including the ability to investigate its actions. The government will also be required to disclose agreements related to natural resources, something that could increase transparency in a major way for natural gas and other minerals. The bill also creates a larger constitutional court, expands the role of parliamentary committees, and even prevents a sitting president from leading a political party. On top of that, it limits what a president can do in the period between an election and the inauguration of a new leader. The bill passed with overwhelming support, largely driven by the faction aligned with Ousmane Sonko, the former prime minister. But not everyone is on board. Opposition lawmakers and civil society groups have criticized the process and the substance of the reforms. Tensions in parliament even turned physical. One opposition MP had to be forcibly removed after refusing to step down from the podium, and most opposition members walked out in protest. Outside the assembly, around 50 protesters gathered, many linked to the party of the former president. Meanwhile, President Faye has announced plans for a national referendum on the reforms, which means voters can vote on whether or not they want these reforms to be in place. But even that is being challenged, with Sonko questioning whether the president actually has the authority to call for a referendum, given that Parliament has already passed the bill. So right now, Senegal is at a crossroads. It's trying to redefine how power is distributed while also navigating deep political divisions. Finally, we turn to the United States, where a major Supreme Court decision could impact over 1 million migrants, including hundreds of thousands from the Caribbean. The court has ruled that federal judges cannot challenge how the government decides to end temporary protected status, or TPS. TPS is a program created in 1990 that allows people from countries facing war, natural disasters, or instability to live and work legally in the United States. However, it doesn't provide a path to citizenship, but it does offer temporary safety. This ruling gives the Department of Homeland Security more power to end those protections quickly, without as much legal oversight. Right now, about 1.3 million people from 17 countries rely on TPS, and one group in particular is heavily affected. Over 330,000 Haitians could now be at risk of losing their status. The decision reflects a long-running political divide. The Biden administration has expanded TPS protections, while the Trump administration has pushed to scale them back, arguing the program was never meant to be permanent. With this new ruling, the future of TPS and the people who depend on it has become much more uncertain. But that's the key stories for this week. Tune in next time as we continue to bring you stories from across Africa and the diaspora. If there's a topic you want us to cover, let us know in the comments. Our goal here is simple: make information about our communities accessible to everyone from the perspective of the people we report on. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and support the channel. See you next week.